One of the biggest questions you come across when it comes to the book community is, how do I get out of a book slump? And I'm in the worst book slump of my life, it feels like. So I'm gonna test a theory, because anytime I've ever been asked this question, I always recommend reading the books that are on your TBR that you know are gonna be good. There's a 90% chance you're gonna like it more than average. So I'm taking my own advice, and I'm reading 5 of the most anticipated books on my TBR, and see if it gets me out of my book slump. So cross your fingers for me. Okay, so right now I'm about 50 pages in to lessons in chemistry. I can already tell that the writing is good and I like it. I don't know where it's going at all because it's literary fiction. That's kind of how they go. But honestly, I'm just enjoying the ambiance. Like, the main character is everything I want to be, and I love that. So I'm just gonna keep going with this one and see how I feel about it. In this book, which by the way, I'm like almost finished with, I just got to page 300. She's a scientist, of course, but she also talks about cooking a lot and how cooking and chemistry are one and the same, like you can't separate them. And so I'm getting ready to make some food and like, oh my gosh, preheating the oven, like let me get my chemist glasses on. I'm making dino nuggets. Very scientific. Emotional. I think I get the most emotional in books or movies when I end up being so proud of the characters. That one hit me. .5. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, the first part of it was good, and then it felt like it dragged a little bit, but it was so worth it to get to the end. The last like 30 pages, I want to boo-hoo, but not even in like a sad way, in like a like I'm so happy finally way. That was so inspiring too. I love so much how it depicted her daughter and the dog. The whole thing highlighted how women were treated as less than, like not being able to comprehend as much. And it's the same thing for kids. Kids understand so much and people just talk to them like they're stupid, and it's so irritating. And I just like, everything about this book was frustrating and refreshing at the same time. Also, I got to the very back and it's like, obviously there's the acknowledgements or whatever. Honestly, I did not read the acknowledgements. I don't think I ever have read the acknowledgements in a book, so sorry, maybe I'll get there one day. But the little about the author, it's like a paragraph. Basically says that the author also worked in like the STEM field, and she shares a lot of the same qualities as the main character, including the weird naming of the dog, which I love. This was so good. I know it's too soon to say, but low-key I do feel kind of like I'm out of a reading slump. So, however, if I were to read a bad book right now, I know that I would slip right into it, so it has to be consistent for a little bit. So I don't know which one I want to read next. Okay, let me show you something real quick. So I have entered the Reading Girlies and Crochet Girlies crossover. And I made this, and I think it's so cute. I want to put a little button on it so it can like snap, or even one of those magnet things, honestly, I feel like would be ideal. But I made it to fit Carrie Soto because it's like a pretty standard paperback size. Let's just talk about the paperback first of all. Yeah, floppy, everything. The only reason though that I think I'm gonna pause this one until, the writing is a little bit small, but that is okay. The reason that I think I want to postpone this is because I truly think that I will finish this within probably 3 days. And I think I'm supposed to play tennis on Monday. And so I want to play tennis while I'm reading this. You know what I mean? So I'll postpone this so I can play tennis in my Carrie Soto reading era. So I think I might pick up Babel? How do you say it? I don't know. And then get started on Happy Place. What a great lineup. I need to do this more often. Yeah. I love how sassy this is. The author's note, basically she's just like, hey, this is how I want to tell it. Suck it up. Please stop complaining. I love that. Halfway in Babel right now. Babel. It's gotta be Babel. Genuinely had no clue what this one was going into it, but what I've gathered is it's like a dark academia book with some magic elements in there. Kind of like how Ninth House is, there's like some magic-y things going on. This is a little bit more like realistic. That feels like a contradiction, but it's like simpler and has a lot more restrictions on it, I guess. It's very interesting and it has a lot of really, really good commentary. It's set in the 1830s in England, and a really big part of this book is discussing colonization and just a ton of really big topics, and a lot of it has to do with language and origin and all of this stuff. It's very interesting, and I really, really like how she explains things. I really like it so far. Do I think this is a good one for a reading slump? Otherwise, I feel like it would have taken me so long to finish this book. I really, really enjoy it. But when you're in a reading slump, you need something super fast-paced. And that's not this. And so even though I am really enjoying it, and I probably will rate it really highly, it's more of like a fall read. I'll probably finish it either tonight or tomorrow. But genuinely, I do really like it. And even though it's 93 degrees outside, I'm gonna pretend like it's getting me in the fall inspiration. So okay, I'm gonna give you the rundown of Happy Place, because I am 60% of the way through. I just did like a more in-depth update for a different video that I'm reading this for, but I like it. It's not a 5-star, however, but everyone seems to cry at the end. I'm not a big crier, but I feel like it may pull on the strings. The ambiance is perfect. The descriptions are beautifully written, and it feels different than her other books, and I think it's because it's a little bit less fluffy. Literally just saying, I feel like this is the only book that going in, and I think it's just because there's not a couple on the cover. I get that it's gonna be in between a romance and a literary fiction, but like I don't have the assumption that they're gonna end up together at the end, basically. So yeah, oh, the whole reason I came on here was to tell you what it was about. It's like about a group of 6 friends, and every year they go to a little cottage in Maine. One of the couples, the main character that we get the POV of, they break up. And nobody knows about it, and they have forced proximity, and they have like honestly fake dating, but it's really good. I'm reading it really fast, so I think it is helpful for the slump, but I am wanting a little bit more. Like I want something that's more plot driven. Oh, is it bad that I want to read Fourth Wing? I don't know, but I'm gonna finish this. I'll continue, and I'll let you know how I feel, how it goes, all the things.
That's how to rub salt in the wound. Spend a few hours on the reservoir. Never never broke a bone, so I'm gonna try hard to prove you wrong. That I'm not who I used to be. I'm not living.
Okay, so I originally wasn't gonna include this book, but last minute, my friends and I decided to have a cute little book club month. So for August, we're reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager. But I'm really glad that I am reading this. It's really keeping my attention. And I read the first 300 pages in probably like 3 days without trying. To the point where I just had to stop. I was like, okay, hold on. You have the rest of the month to finish this. So safe to say, liking it so far. The end of thrillers is always make or break. If I don't like the way that they do the twists, I don't like the book. But speaking for right now, it's feeling like around a 4.5, and the ending can make that better or worse. So we'll see. Okay, so yesterday I read a lot because not only did I finish Happy Place, I also finished my Riley Sager book. I will talk to you guys about that in a second, but it was raining really hard yesterday and I got a lavender candle and it just felt very fall to me. Cozy, very fantasy setting, if you will. And so instead of Carrie Soto, I decided to start Fourth Wing. And yeah, I ended up binging like the first 100 pages. So safe to say, I am really liking this one. And I understand why people read this in a reading slump. So I feel like this was the perfect last book to choose for this video, and then I'll just read Carrie Soto in a little bit, because let me tell you, I went and played tennis yesterday. I think I want to be better at it before I read Carrie Soto, so maybe that's like a September moment for me. So yeah, I started Fourth Wing. I'm obsessed with it so far. It is really giving the whole like Divergent Hunger Games feel to it, and I was nervous about that because I thought that it was going to feel too much like them, but enough time has passed to where I'm just eating it up. But yeah, okay, let me go tell you about the books that I read. Okay, so let's talk about this one first. So this one I am reading with my friends. We're doing a video about it to kind of talk about it together. So I won't say too much about it, but I loved this book. Okay, before this, the only Riley Sager book that I had read was Survive the Night, and I hated how it ended. Not my fave. So I was really nervous going into this one that I was gonna like it so much, and then it was gonna get to the end and I was gonna hate it. I actually really liked it. I feel like all of the twists were done really well. I figured out some, I didn't figure out others, but I had so many theories for this book that it was almost like, did I guess it or did I just theorize all of the possible outcomes? I will be giving Riley Sager another shot because I think I'm giving this one probably a 4.5. I liked it that much. It just didn't give me the 5-star feeling. Close as you can get to that. And I honestly don't mind that it's a hardback. Who am I, you know? So many hardbacks this video. Okay, next I read Happy Place. It's not on here because obviously I'm reading Fourth Wing right now. Let's see, how do I articulate how I'm feeling about Happy Place? I really liked it. Let's get that out of the way. I think I would rate Happy Place a 4-star. And I think that I would tie it with Book Lovers though, but for different reasons. So this book was written really well. I've heard a lot of people say she must have done something as far as learning and like changing her writing style a little bit and just maybe even like maturing it a little. So we're doing pretty good so far. No 5 stars, but I'm pretty sure every single book in this has been a 4-star. And then this 4.5, so maybe this is the one. I mean, regardless, I feel like this has gotten me out of my slump. That's pretty solid. 4-star or above in a row. And before that, I had like 3 2-stars in a row. It feels like it's working. Okay, I'm gonna continue to read. Okay, so now that I'm far enough into this to kind of know what's going on, they basically, okay, where should I start? They live in a very militaristic, I guess it's a country. They've been at war for like 600 years, 400 years, something like that. They have dragons, the other people have griffins. The dragons are more powerful. And there's different things that you can do when you go to this college, but it's more like factions from Divergent than a college. Some people die, but then there's people mixed in there that were part of the rebellion, or their parents were part of the rebellion, and now they're having to work for this country's military. And I'm sensing a love triangle. Personally, I don't hate it. I don't hate a love triangle. But I think we all know who we're gonna root for, and that is the one that's kind of her enemy. I'm sorry, Dane. I also hate that name. I know somebody named Dane. Not a fan. I low-key thought that I was gonna maybe not vibe with it, and I thought that it was gonna feel too unoriginal, but it doesn't. It's really good. I needed a moment for this one. I finished Fourth Wing. This is one of those books that I will never shut up about. So you guys just be prepared. I was so fully ready to like this book and not love it. I was ready to go into it and enjoy the atmosphere, but not be super connected to the storyline. I can't explain what it is, but the entire time, 5-star feeling. The whole time, from the very beginning. So I'm obsessed with this book. Goes without saying, 5 stars for me. I will be buying probably the hardback, honestly, because I'm not gonna be able to wait for the second one to come out in paperback, so I'm just getting all the hardbacks, I don't care. I loved it so much. And I'm sure you'll hear me talk about it a million other times, but this one was it. This one was it. I can't believe I ended on a 5-star. Ideal. So let's go over the lineup. First, I had Lessons in Chemistry. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. I feel like it deserves its hype. Honestly, all of these books do. What did I read next? I think I read Babel next. That one, gave it a 4 stars. Very dark academia. Then I kind of read these at the same time, but I read Happy Place and Riley Sager's new book, which is The Only One Left. Happy Place I gave 4 stars. The Only One Left I gave 4.5 stars. And then of course, I just finished Fourth Wing. 5 stars across the board. So good. Love. So that's pretty solid, honestly. I feel like I did exactly what I wanted to achieve with this, which is I am absolutely not in a reading slump anymore. And I was nervous that Fourth Wing being so good was gonna send me into a reading slump again, just because I knew that anything after that will probably be disappointing. But I mean, I picked up a couple books and I'm interested in them. I know I'm not gonna love them as much as I loved that one, but I still wanna pick them up and read them. So yeah, officially out of reading slump. So I would recommend just read the books, your most highly anticipated ones. Even if you're scared that you're gonna hate it, it might work. So that is all from me. See you later.
Let's go.